in position. Some Ultalisk's able to run in with some a couple Zerglings here and there. It looks like they're going to be able to trap G5's army, but I don't think they're going to get a lot accomplished because the upgrades have kicked in for G5. He does have that level 3 opens. He does have that level 3 armor, able to stasis some troops up on that high ground, and he has a pretty good unit combination to work against this actually. So looks like, yeah, a very nice play here from G5. It's going to lose this army, but I think he's going to be able to enact a lot of damage on Lzgamer. Otherwise, is going to have to expend more troops, and critically, you can see that his Overlord count has plummeted. G5 just basically tempting him to bring those Overlords out in the field with that Arbiter, and now the Arbiter is just, I'm sorry, the Corsairs doing their weight, absolutely weight in gold here, killing almost every Overlord on the opposite side of LZ's field. He's just now, it looks like he had to spend that entire larva cycle on nothing but Overlords, and he's still at 161 supply out of 162 supply, where G5 is somewhat near max, and he should be able to max in not too long. Needs to be a little bit careful at this stage because it looks like his mineral only, his main, starved out, but you can see on Lzgamer's opposite side, his secondary is still producing, the upper left still producing, the 12 o'clock still producing, but otherwise a little bit thin, and G5 is essentially at 2 bases comparatively. So it is kind of 2 base versus 3 base Zerg. G5 still in a good position. He has that upgrade advantage. Lzgamer really hasn't been able to push through and do really what he wanted to. He's expended a lot of resources that he really didn't want to, specifically on Overlords and other true combinations like that. And this is kind of the stage of the game where he tends to have a lot more trouble. This is, again, kind of the late game where he has to be all over the map, especially against an opponent like G5. G5 running in with a huge Corsair force running out in the field, and this is going to be devastating to this drop, especially if these units are getting caught in the mix of it. Looks like he's running out trying to hunt for that drop before it gets loaded up, and nothing but Ultalisks here. Oh man, Ultalisks in Overlords. It looks like they were able to dump out in time. They did get plagued, but still able to get a couple Overlord kills here and there. The Hydralisks underneath trying to hit them where they can. But this is, I really like this play from G5. Yeah, the Overlords tried to run through, but a counterattack to clear out those Hydralisks that might have defended. So nice positional attack there by G5. The Hydralisks, oh man. And that was full of Ultralisks right there. Once again getting dumped. That's so frustrating for LZGamer. Once again dumped to 49 supply with that Corsair force up above. Absolutely devastating. Very nice play from G5. Able also to run up to that 12 o'clock position. Looks like a plague going across the field there. But yeah, now Lzgamer in a lot of trouble. Lost an expansion. G5's easily going to be able to move in and take that expansion. The Dark Templar should be able to melt these Ultralisks even with that swarm. Maybe full damage under that swarm. And with without an Overlord actually approaching, because there's no Overlord anywhere nearby, these Dark Templar are easily going to be able to clean this up. So nice late game tech switch I think is going to give G5 this match. I wouldn't be surprised if Lzgamer GG'd in not too long. Looks like actually he's going to be able to clean these Dark Templar up with an Overlord that he found somewhere out in position. Still the Corsairs running out in the field almost completely unopposed, killing more Overlords right as they spawn, and Lzgamer desperately just trying to produce Hydralisks as best he can to try to get something out in the field. He's got a lot of resources, but just isn't in a position to spend them. And honestly, even if he was able to utilize his resources just perfectly, G5 has a huge bank to work with. A lot of resources, almost 13,000 right there to replenish his army with. So not looking pretty for Lzgamer at all. Looks like he was able to pick off a couple Corsairs here and there, but G5 should be able to replenish them without too much trouble. And really, G5 has a lot of time to get another large army out and kind of going for a counterattack. I think he could do that while capping that 12 o'clock position. It looks like he's going to kind of cycle through here, examine things a little bit before making his next maneuver. But right now, LZ really only mining out of this upper left. His natural expansion is just about mined out. Looks like G5 still running at 2 bases, but he's got so much in the bank it really doesn't make a difference. LZ needs to retake this 12 o'clock, but he's got to go through a very large army, a very highly upgraded army, and kind of this decimating Corsair force that's just floating all over the place on top of it. And it's really hard to fight those Corsairs off, particularly when you're trying to constantly go for a drop, when your units keep ending up like basically loaded in these troop kind of funnels. And it looks like G5 sniffing out this drop once again. These Corsairs kind of cycling through. It looks like they're going to be able to catch a lot more troops. Oh, maybe not this time, actually. The Corsair is able to kind of ward that off. The thing is even with the drop, I'm not sure where they'd be able to accomplish a lot. Still cannons to the north here. Maybe over that natural expansion. Really, he's got to go after the gateways to slow G5 down. And it's going to, he's got to get one nice Doom drop. And I think with G5 knowing that it's coming, it's going to be very difficult to do so. I like the Dark Templar here to the north. It looks like he's going to create maybe even a pylon wall with some cannons behind it and a Dark Templar. Otherwise, Lzgamer exposing those Overlords once again. Fortunately, not a lot of troops in them here. Just kind of coming along the ground. The Hydralisks underneath running in for an attack, but a much smaller army going up against a much larger army, unfortunately. Able to take out that Dark Templar, but G5 is easily going to be able to win this fight with some Storm and just the pure Zealot brigade here, running in, killing absolutely everything, turning around very quickly, and easily going to be able to actually cap this. Actually, planting a pylon in the way, not even just going to distance mine here, and this is a bit bad-mannered here, planting a pylon in the way, just so Lzgamer knows he can't take the Nexus, and he's going to distance mine with his probes otherwise, not really bother with the Nexus altogether, just cannon it up, make sure Lzgamer can't take it because he knows he has enough in the bank to work with. Lzgamer once again devastated on supply, back down to 81, 92 out of 81 here. Looks like he has some Ultras going to try to crash down to the 6 o'clock. Even if he does manage to take this base out, there wasn't a lot left there for G5, so he's really not going to mind that loss. That's also going to trap some precious troops in that corner as the Zealots kind of pushing in to kind of take care of this. He's also got the dump. This is a very this is a pure anti-swarm army. That Plague will help, but really the Dark Templar, the Psystorm, the Archons, and they should be able to clean these Ultilisks up without too much trouble. And G5 actually not even backing out and sacrificing it. Looks like he's still going to hold that. Still distance mining with his probes. Looks like one of them did manage to get plagued in the mix here, and he's actually going to build his Nexus to the upper right corner, kind of in an inefficient position, more sacrificing, it looks like, well, mining position for more of a defense. He wants to make sure he has a ton of cannons in there. So again, that Lzgamer can't crash down on it, and will have more trouble working against it. Running in, able to stasis. That was really heads up. Able to stasis some Hydralisks before end up getting taken out. Some troops in transition. Very nice plague there from LZ, but there still should be more troops to come from G5, and he's still working with a very small army, unfortunately. And even though Lzgamer is an extremely efficient player with small unit armies, there's a certain point when you're just facing too much, and it doesn't matter how you micro it. It's just too much of an army to work against. So Lzgamer sticking in this game almost defiantly at this stage, but yeah, not a lot he's going to be able to do late game. Looks like he's just run out of resources. His secondary completely, wow, he's only running off one base. He's just not going to have the troops to work with. He's not going to be able to produce the Sulfulists, continue to produce those defilers he really needs to, basically needs to have at this stage, and G5 can just replenish this army with just pure Zealot almost. Zealot and High Templar continued running out here. He's even mixing in some Dark Templar to provide some of these defenses. It's actually kind of giving LZ some opportunities to take out some units that you probably shouldn't. He's keeping kind of these unit troops to the north a little bit small, not a very large army, and it looks like he's going to keep the bulk of the army back, maybe wait for LZ to kind of commit to attack and then kind of pin what's left of it in there. Looks like some Ultralisks, and this is kind of pithy what's left. You can see just the supply difference, 60 supply versus, or I'm sorry, the resource difference. You got 1,200 in one bank versus 92 in the other. A lot of Psystorm. This is, yeah, that late game defense actually going to work out. So usually this is what benefits Zerg. You'll see a protoss opponent usually trying to break across this 12 o'clock, but now actually working out for G5, having Dark Templar in the way underneath, which really is going to spell the difference here, and the Ultras getting kind of melted, not quite getting coverage against these cannons otherwise, and that's going to have to be GG from Lzgamer. He doesn't really have any troops left, period, out in the field. He's got a couple Zerglings here and there. Got to be frustrated in this match because he was off to an excellent start and just ended up kind of falling apart. I think specifically the upgrades played a bad news for him, and also G5 able to run and just kind of secure some expansions underneath his nose. Hope you guys enjoyed it. Thanks for listening.